So we've got here one of these TP100. It's a small tracked robot kit, around about £19. You can get them for as small as 15. So it's got a little battery holder. These are plastic wheels, plastic hubs, fairly good quality. Then we've also got some idler wheels. So the tracks are going to run in those. Two motors. They're sort of rated at 12 volts on these ones, or up to 12 volts. Quite nice, these ones. These are like the 37mm cans, built-in gearboxes on the end, and the tracks, which is one of the reasons for buying them really. These are like hardish plastic, and they've got like metal pins actually running through every single link as well, so again quite nice, fairly robust. And then there's a chassis plate, which everything's going to mount on. Powdered black, and you can get this in a couple of different colours as well, but black one always seems to be in stock. So I'm going to speed the video up here because it makes it a little bit more interesting. First up, I'm going to fit the motors to the chassis. There's a couple of two little countersink screws that goes into there. You only need little Phillips to do this. There seems to be a lot more nuts and bolts, in fact, than you actually need to put this together. So you can only assume that they've got other plans for some of those. They're probably to do with the bigger kit. There's another kit that you can get with a central idler wheel, slightly longer. The grub screw goes into the motor mount, and we screw that tight onto the ends of the motor. They supply all the Allen keys as well, so the only really thing you do need is a screwdriver, but yeah, all the Allen keys are supplied, which is a nice touch. Then we put the sort of drive wheels on, and there's another Allen bolt that goes through, mounts that on. Quite a nice little mounting system. Then the idler wheel. Now the only issue I've got with this is there's a fair bit of overhang on this, and it's probably not the best mounting method at all. There's a long bolt that goes through it, and the only real way to keep it sort of connected on is a couple of lock nuts on the end of it. So in the next part of this is I'm actually remaking this mounting point and putting a double bearing mechanism in, which will be a far more robust mounting mechanism. It'll stop it sort of going out of whack when it's if it loosens up or anything like that. This is just like putting the lock nuts on. Just lock the two nuts together, and that kind of holds it in place. Then the track, and of course the first thing you discover when you put the tracks on, far too big. So we'll cover how to adjust the tracks in a second. So here you can see the tracks, and if you look closely, there's like a pin that goes through each track link. So what we need is a small. I've got a small bradawl here. And if you just press down here, give it a bit of a push, the pin just slides through, and get a pair of small pliers and grab this piece here. So you can pull that, and it just completely slides out, and that separates tracks. So we line them up on the idler gear or the idler wheel and the drive, and work out how many to take out. And I started off with 3, but ended up taking out 4 in the end, which seemed to be about the best length. Here's taking out another one, just to keep it. So you don't want it too tight on the idler and the drive, so with just a little bit of slack, which will give it a little bit of give. And here, with the motors connected, just touching the leads from a battery, spins quite nicely. So here's a little, you can see a little bit of give there in the tracks, and this is basically the chassis completed. So we use a couple of the old batteries, just wire them up to opposite sides of the motors, just with a little power switch. Give it a flick, and off it goes. Does quite a good job actually, and this is basically the first part of just a powered chassis.
And if you'd like to see the second part of this video, where we add radio controls to the chassis, then please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.